Here we are again, July 15, 2024. Well, we didn't wake up, well, as far as I know, we didn't wake up to some shock. Cliff High mentioned that we would. Building tension, a real shock. Maybe it was Trump's announcement of VD. I can't even remember his. Holy shit. This worries me. JD. Vance, right? Oh my God. I honestly knew it just this afternoon. JD Vance, right? Right, okay. Well, he ripped apart all the MAGA people and did call them idiots. And isn't it interesting? Ooh, I can get into a power position, so I'm going to suck up, kiss ass, get that VP. Nobody has principles in our country. I don't know you. You might. But the vast majority don't. Called Trump voters idiots. J.D. Vance, Ohio. Maybe it's Trump wanting to get Ohio. Oh, already no smooth streaming. All right, hang on for 1 second. You can watch Radar. I'm back. So, he did say, Cliff High did say July 15 and 16. So maybe the shock will come tomorrow. Oh boy, something exciting to look forward to. Ah. Yeah, I'm seeing more and more people talk about how life is just bullshit. And I have to agree. It's meaningless. It's meaningless. You can't have meaning when so many people are lying and accepting lies and not living the principles they speak and morally degraded to the point that they can't even see it within themselves. And people are not nice. So I had to bring my car in. The air conditioning needs work. So because I thought I would be traveling a distance, and you can't travel with 3 cats and no air conditioning, not with the heat dome in many states, I brought it to Brake Max. And they said, I brought it for a diagnosis. They didn't fix it. I'm so fed up with just being treated like trash. With such disrespect, people don't give a shit. So I bring it in. They said it would be 15 to 20 minutes, the diagnose. Over an hour and a half later, they gave me their diagnose. I paid for the diagnose and just walked out. The woman in the waiting room with me had been there even longer. And she came with her very young, like 12-year-old son. And we started talking, and she came there just to get something with tires. And she said, I've done this before. It takes about a half hour, and that's it. I asked her how long she's been waiting there. She said 2 hours. Because she kept getting up, like every, 10 or 15 minutes. And she would come back to her son and say, they still don't even have the tire on. And so we started talking. And she was talking about how unfriendly people are and how they just don't care anymore. So, an awful lot of Americans are getting that something is wrong with their fellow Americans. These guys didn't give shit. Did they come in and apologize? It's going to be, a little bit longer. Did they explain why? No. No. No one, I'm getting it. No one cares about anything. No one cares about, She said to me, if they told me that it was going to take over 2 hours, I would have had somebody to drop me off and then, drive me to pick up the car instead of sitting there for 2 hours. So, I'm getting people saying people are rude, people don't care. That means that a whole lot of people are just surviving life. Even if they can still pay their bills, they're still surviving, the breakdown in society. Our social contract is gone. So, and care is not selective. So, you either have it or you don't. But, yeah. Oh, we also talked about the storm last night. So, we were very lucky. Tucson and Tucson proper, and I'm going to show you some of it, got hit hard. Some of the video looks like it was a hurricane in Tucson. She talked, a tree in her property, went over. Hail, they had a lot of hail. She was afraid the hail was going to break her sunroof, in the, is that what they're called in the house? She said her neighbor, the hail did come through their sunroof, and the hail did bust up some of her screens. Where am I residing now? In a place I don't want to be, Arizona. Well, good for you, Steve. Good for you. But I've been noticing that over the years, that lack of care that people have, the social contract, how we used to interact with, one another, even strangers, just talking to strangers, and I saw it in a lot of states because I've had a fabulous life experience. I say that with great sarcasm. Something's wrong. Something is wrong. So, power outages, trees down, road closures, rescues. We didn't know this was coming. Okay, let me show you radar. Well, let me show you what it looked like earlier. So, let me see if I can get the time. Oh, the time is not coming up. Oh, here it is. All right, so this was at, still not sure. 2:48 p.m. So it was 4:48 p.m. Do you see these activated, as far as I'm concerned, nanobots in Iowa? They all manifest at the exact same time, and they manifest separately, but then they come together. Look at all of what's happening down here in the southern states. Mississippi, or is that, no? Well, you got it in Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, into North Carolina, Florida, of course, right? But, oh, look at this. Indiana, Ohio, with the frequencies, of course. Look at all of these frequencies over here coming out of South Dakota. This is going to produce damage, and it may have already. You also have it in, look at this tail that manifests, and then it hooks on to the storm in, why can't I get this? It hooks on to the storm in New York State, right there. And we also have Massachusetts, and we've got Connecticut. All right, so we've got a lot of severe weather going on. And look at it now. And look at the frequencies, the extremely low frequencies. So the picture that I attached to the live stream notification, the Gwen Towers, that's what you're seeing. And we have Gwen Towers all over our country. All over our country. Now, you also see that, all right, right here, Louisiana, the supercell is extinguished. Good. And it's kind of going in a northerly direction. This is coming way fast down in a southerly. And this is going up north. This is going south. This is going north. All right. Air masses, when they do that with the air masses, you can have tornadoes. You can have very high winds when they move about the air masses with electromagnetic frequencies. You see the frequencies right here on the coast, South Carolina, North Carolina. This does not look good at all. Look at all of the extremely low frequencies, all of these lines that are going on. They use the extremely low frequencies to modify, to intensify, to direct weather fronts. You can see the frequencies right here. They're hitting this storm. And they can use them to terminate weather fronts. Look at all of this in Colorado, in Wyoming, into Nebraska. We've got, we're supposed to get rain, 7. Look at these extremely low frequencies in Southern California. This is very dangerous, considering the landslides, considering the land movements that they have going, especially in Southern California. People are losing their homes just to the movement of the land. Well, the extremely low frequencies can be emitted through the ground. That's, you see the wires on that picture? The very, very, very tall antennas with all of the wires coming down to the ground. the copper wiring to the ground, they emit extremely low frequencies through the ground. And I do believe that that is one of the reasons why we are seeing such massive crumbling of roads, bridges collapsing, landslides, torn up infrastructure, land movement. So this, I have to refresh. They had 3 tornado alerts in Wisconsin, in Iowa, even in New York. God, yeah, Illinois. So let's see if any of these have expired. No, there's even more. There's a lot more. There's a lot more. Stevenson, Illinois, you have a tornado warning. Pearl City near Winslow, near Pearl City, Illinois. Henry Mercer Rock, Rock Island, Iowa, Whiteside, Muscantine, Scott, Wisconsin, Greene, and Lafayette. They even give the towns where they're near. So in Illinois, near Illinois City, near Donahue, Wisconsin, near Warren, and 13 miles southeast of Darlington, Illinois, Rock Island, and Whiteside. It's near Maquoketa, and Welton, Iowa, Michigan, Delta. It's near Rock or Escanaba in Michigan. In Illinois, Carroll, Joe Davis, Stevenson, excuse me, and it's near Scales Mound to Whitton. And I will put the link in. This is happening on a daily basis, guys. A whole lot of people are losing their homes. And it's either due to severe weather or it's due to fires, apartment complex fires, homes igniting in fire, the severe weather. Wow. All right, so let's... The refresh. Waiting on update. Okay. We have severe weather warnings for Alabama, Arizona, Iowa, Illinois, Michigan, Nebraska, New York, Ohio, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, Wisconsin, and West Virginia. Really? And that doesn't need to be questioned? This is an everyday occurrence now. Every day. This is not good. I will post the link to the severe weather alerts, and wherever you can get alerts, I suggest that you hook into them, because we're in deep shit. This is war. You're looking at weapons of mass destruction. You're looking at all of the frequencies that the YouTube meteorologist and mainstream meteorologist will never, ever discuss. And that really pisses me off, because they're there, apparently, trying to alert everybody to a danger, but they're not alerting people to the truth about that danger. Yes, that's true, Amelia. A whole lot of trees. But with these winds, now I think even with these winds, not 80 mile per hour, because we're getting hurricane winds all over the place. Shouldn't that be questioned? Or do you think it's because cows fart? Whoa. You know, if this wasn't so dangerous, if so many people were not having to suffer the consequences of this on a daily basis now, I wouldn't be upset. It is marvelously dangerous. And every day, more and more people are suffering the consequences. That should upset everybody. All right, so this is Tucson. This was the, I was on the live, I mentioned the winds on the live that we got, and the winds come out of nowhere. And then you see that a whole lot of people are saying, I've never, that woman in the waiting room in this Breakmax place said, I've never seen anything like what I lived through last night. And she said, it is scary. So, powerful storm causes power outages, damage, swift water rescues in Tucson. And really? This comes out of the blue? Don't know what this is. So here, 27,000.
A beautiful relationship
Without
between a
power.
granddaughter and her grandparent.
Downtown Tucson was smashed with large trees ripped from the ground near the courthouse. Several roads in the area closed. Circle K got hit. Wow. The AutoZone, their wall came tumbling off. The whole wall. This is from a rainstorm? Really? And the swift water rescues. You don't see any rescues, but really? Okay. Our severe weather is very different. Viewers share video and images of storm damage near them. Not much in this video. Tornado Tornado touches down in Tucson on Tuesday night. So this was 10 days ago. Any of you hear about this? I didn't.
Last night, for nearly 5 minutes, one touchdown between the Amazon Fulfillment Center near Kolb and Valencia and this Safeway parking lot just east of Old Vale Road.
Yeah, we just had a huge tree come down last night. It was absolutely massive.
In just 5 minutes, Tuesday night's tornado wasn't able to do too much damage other than uprooting a few trees, but the storm it brought with it left its mark.
When I got in today, I noticed that there was water all over the floor in the office, and I'm like, what's going on? They just said we had a flood last night.
According to the National Weather Service, the tornado moved roughly parallel to Valencia Road, leaving enough damage for the Weather Service to determine the storm was a tornado.
We see a lot of damage to like uprooted trees, mesquite trees that pulled off. So that's an indicator of like there was EF1 damage there.
But for the long line of damage, no one seems to have actually spotted the funnel cloud.
We talked to a few individuals. They only heard secondhand from other people that they heard a lot of noise, a lot of trees move around, a lot of rain coming down.
Weather Service personnel emphasized that monsoon activity isn't usually linked to tornadoes.
No, it's not. And from what I'm hearing from this subscriber, the monsoons never came from the directions that they're claiming these monsoons are coming from. All right. Your sister still doesn't have power since last Monday in Texas, right, Kim? Oh, wow. Severe storms caused damage across Twin Cities.
Parts of the metro hit pretty hard by thunderstorms over the weekend. This is a look at Maple Grove last night and the light show that you could see up there. You can see how hard the rain is hitting the ground.
Here we go. Here we go.
An incredible amount of lightning too, streaking.
Here we go again. Yay! I love it.
Across the sky. And in the South Metro, rain pouring down here in Richfield. Strong wind gusts reported throughout the night too. Trees collapsing on parked cars in South Minneapolis. Some trees covering part of the road, others covering the entire street. And those strong storms have also left many in the metro without power on this very
Without power. If you have the money, get a generator. No matter where you are. If you have the money, you should get a generator. Storm damage in western and central South Dakota. This was overnight.
Parts of western and central South Dakota are cleaning up from early morning storm damage. Severe weather swept through the Pierre area, damaging buildings and vehicles and knocking down trees. The Pierre Airport reported a wind gust to 84 miles an hour around 2 o'clock this morning.
Did you hear that? 84 miles per hour wind gusts in South Dakota. Hurricane winds. We get them all over now. On a daily basis. But it must be because you're driving a big car,
with these thousands.
right? It's a gas car. That's what it must be. And cows farting. Farmers. You know, the nitrogen. And when the world's people have grown dumb, on the whole, that's when that's when the evil can wreak an awful lot of havoc. And they're doing it. They're doing it big time. Oh, and I didn't know about this fire in Phoenix. This was like 4 days ago. Very destructive wildfire in Phoenix. And this is it's a half hour. I'll post the link, but as you can see, it took out structures, a home, This truck, vehicles, I had no clue.
Buildings in the heart of the historic Arizona town of San Carlos. Some of the images over the last 12 to 24 hours are, well, they're just heartbreaking. And now, in just a moment, we're going to be joined live by our pilot, Skyfox pilot, Troy Barrett, who just flew over the area and will be able to give us his first-hand account.
And I put the link in, and you can listen to this first-hand account from these mainstream media reporters. And they're not worth listening to, but this is worth listening to. The link is in the chat, and the title is Deep State Weather War on Texas. Weather wars on everyone. But Texas, I said it last night, I think, or 2 nights ago. How do you guys, especially in the southeast corner of Texas, how do you deal with it? Because it looks like you get rain all the time. All the time. Let me look at radar, see if anything is bubbling up in that region. Look at these frequencies. Oh, man. All right, so. No, not yet. Something may bubble up, though. You never know. When man controls the weather, man actually controls your destiny. So, I'm going to play a few minutes of Shane and Tracy. I have recommended Tracy's channel, Brush Junkie. I will put the link in again. She's putting out a lot of very good information, good interviews. She's in Hawaii, and a whole lot of very good videos on the Lahaina fires.
Get started on some of the basics. I did a video about the Smokehouse Creek fire, which started on the 26th of February. And so technically the winter, there was a fire that destroyed 1,058,482 acres in the Texas Panhandle. Now this is the biggest fire in Texas history. So this is a record. And we're going to go into other records later. But just to give this perspective, this fire destroyed more than the entire state of Rhode Island. This is a massive area. It's a lot of it is dry, but a lot of this land is used for cattle ranching. So a lot of the country's beef comes from this area, and a lot of cattle, along with the grazing land, was destroyed or killed or destroyed in this fire. Now, we're also going to go into the massive derecho that went through the Houston area, some really big hailstorms that came through, and Hurricane Beryl, and Shane's going to go into a little bit about the weather manipulation that was involved with those. But I'm going to focus on the fire, and a lot of this is going to be perspective, but it's pretty obvious. So one thing that we understand is that Amarillo has a plan for a smart city. So that's another reason we were suspicious of this fire being man-made. And there's also a big impact this fire has on the food supply, which, the globalists are trying to reduce the amount of food that we have access to here in the U.S. It's a technique that's been used in other countries, a lot of communist countries. What they do is they make food so scarce for their people that every day is a struggle, and they don't have time to focus on the bigger picture. So I do believe That has started to happen, and it's been happening. And this was a really big one for the globalist. Something really weird that happened, it snowed on the area, even though they claim that this was during a very hot period, but it snowed, so I'm not sure how they figured that. But I wanted to show the map here. This is the area that was burned. So this is a massive area. It's closer to the Oklahoma border. And many cows died here. But we did find a video. I saw the cattle that were injured, and I saw the ranchers talking about the injuries. The common theme that I saw was the cattle's eyes and their hooves were damaged. That's where they saw the most injury, to the eyes and the hooves. So that is a little weird. Their eyes were often kind of like burned out, and their hooves were so damaged that they couldn't walk, and a lot of them were put down because they were going to die anyways, and they're suffering so much. So I don't want to get into exactly why that happens. There are some ideas that we have, but I did want to point that out. And then here's the snow-covered burn area with a dead cattle there. And here is a house, 2 houses that were flattened. And this was not a highly populated area, but a couple of people, I think 2 people died, right? Reportedly.
Yes, 2 people died, including Joyce Blankenship, who was 83 years old. And the reason that she died was because her son was roadblocked from saving her.
Right, no one was there to rescue her, and she was found in her house, I think, deceased.
Yeah.
And there was another one, but there weren't a lot of reported deaths.
There was.
And I find it interesting that 2 people died. The 83-year-old in her home, perhaps she was disabled and couldn't get out, but you see some burn marks, the outer periphery of what looks like a walled-in home, a swimming pool here. These homes are completely and utterly leveled, brought to dust. This looks fine. This tree looks fine. These trees, they look, well, it's wintertime. I mean, they're pretty much dead. Well, as dead as trees get in the winter. But where did this fire come from? It does look like direct hits on this house. Both of these homes. You know, you have a little bit of what might be evidence of a fire here, out here, what? So you're not talking flying embers from what may just be some grass out in these fields. People need to start to see and know this isn't some hand symbol that I'm in the Illuminati. Open your eyes and begin to see what is happening. Please. We are at war. They are destroying us. It's quite obvious. Quite obvious. No, people are not crazy. No, people are not conspiracy theorists. No, people don't need to be on meds. It's you that are crazy. I'm not talking to you guys, and you know that. So, just listen to a few more minutes.
Flattened, and this was not a highly populated area. But a couple of people, I think 2 people died, right? Reportedly.
Yes, Yes, two people died, including Joyce Blankenship, who was 83
Right.
years old. And the reason that she died was because her son was roadblocked from saving her.
Right.
They roadblocked her son. Her son couldn't get through to rescue her.
No one was there to rescue her, and she was found in her house, I think, deceased.
Yeah.
And there was another one, but there weren't a
There
lot
was.
of reported deaths.
There was another one, but the name was not released at the time.
Okay, so 2 officially deceased people during this tragedy. So something that made me kind of think a little bit deeper into, whenever I hear about these crazy events and these record-breaking, weather events, I try to understand, like, why Texas, why this area, why now? And I remember hearing a little speech from the governor, Greg Abbott. Now, he's been the governor since 2015. He's been in position for, right, is it 15? Over 8 years. He's been the governor of Texas. Now, a little information about Governor Abbott. He's actually permanently in a wheelchair because he is paralyzed on the lower body. And the way he got paralyzed is, it was 1984. He was a young man. He was jogging, and because of a storm, a tree fell on him, and that's what injured him. And he has not walked since. So I'm going to play a video of him talking. And it really struck me, and I watch a lot of politicians talk about things like this, especially like Governor Green. But I just felt a very strong sense of hurt in his voice. And I just sense, unlike a lot of other officials in his position, he really had a strong sense of sincerity giving this message. And I'll let you guys hear it. And he's talking about the fire.
I have witnessed and observed some extraordinary damage in our state. It could be caused by hurricanes or tornadoes, and frequently when you see the aftermath of that damage, there's some semblance of a structure that is still there. When you look at the damages that have occurred here, it's just gone, completely gone. Nothing left but ashes on the ground. Some early, and I will categorize as premature assessments, show that there are about 400 to 500 structures that have been destroyed. There's no way to say for certainty that's going to be the final number, because there's still the ongoing assessment process.
All right, so that was him talking about the fire. And I don't know a ton about him, and I know a lot of my viewers are from Texas, so please sound off in the chat what you think of Governor Abbott. I'm sure he's not a saint, but...
World Economic Forum, Greg Abbott. Greg Abbott and the other politicians in Texas are reshaping Texas for the Texas Triangle, which is a World Economic Forum hub. They consider the Texas Triangle to be an economic driver in the New World Order. So, yeah, don't let Abbott fool you. I think a lot of Texans know. So now people are telling me that they can't hear me. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm going to post the link again. They do go into Hurricane Beryl. And yeah, it's pretty important to circulate the information. And here, Larch Creek Fire. This also is, I believe, in Arizona. New evacuations in place. Now, this was 4 days ago. Why? I check wildfires, flooding, tornadoes every day. And none of this has come up. Now it comes up 4 days later.
This is a KOIN 6 News Wildfire Alert.
More than 40 homes are now under level 3 go now evacuation orders in Wasco County as the Larch Creek fire grows. This comes as Governor Kotek freed up precious resources last night to protect people and property. It's 4 o'clock. I'm Todd Unger.
And I'm Jenny Hansen. Let's get right to our Joelle Jones live with the very latest update from fire experts. Joelle?
The wind is making the fire go in all directions.
The wind is making the fire go in all directions. Okay, so a whole lot of people are saying that they can hear me fine. And dude, I don't know why you keep writing that you're being blocked or, people aren't seeing your comments. You write so many comments. They're seen. So you're not blocked. And if you're having a problem hearing me, it's on your end. Other people are saying it's fine. Can hear you just fine. Okay. So, fires abound. I don't know what to say. A Vermont farmer. The farmers are devastated, not just in Vermont, with all of the flooding, remnants of Hurricane Beryl. They're hurting. They're hurting in Vermont, in South Dakota, in Minnesota, in Wisconsin, in Michigan, in Texas, in it all over. I am so... I sure do hope that community are out there helping, because if they're not, they're part of the devastation that's taking place. Now, am I talking about people help to the point of, oh, now there's a success? Obviously not. Helping by giving solace, helping people survive, instead of having to live, surviving, so stressed, not knowing what to do, not having anybody at your back. It is imperative that we show our best selves to people in our community. Oh, boy. And I'll put the link in again. I'm not going to play it, but he wasn't hit that hard. But he's talking about the farmers around him in his community. And the farmers now have GoFundMes. They're in big need of help. 3 adults dead in fire at Phoenix Apartments. Apartment complex fires are very common now. Almost every day I see apartment complex. Oh, displaced people. So this is in Phoenix, and 3 people died. If you want to check it out, they don't show the fire. It's just the press conference, but people are really hurting. American Airlines, oh my God, the plane. Okay. It's all different types of planes now that are having a whole lot of trouble. It was just, a week ago or maybe 2 weeks ago, and I don't even know what airline it was, but it landed on its belly. The landing gear got stuck. So now American Airlines has a blowout with their tire.
Whoa! Whoa, 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 whoa! Float engine! Oh!
and some guy screaming, emergency, emergency. Yeah, it's freaking hot here, but I have to say today was a little bit cooler. The sun is still brutal, but today it was a little bit cooler. The clouds do not look good. All right, so how do you put your life in a duffel bag? The explosion that took place, it was a bank, exploded. The apartment building above it, they haven't been in for, what, 6 weeks, the residents? And now, because it's going to be demolished, demolition, via demolition, they had first responders collect, I guess they wrote it on a list. They had the first responders go into the tenants' apartments to collect what was, I guess, most important to them, and they could only like fill up in a duffel bag. It's a big building with a lot of tenants. That's all they got. The demolition includes everything that they were unable to fit into a duffel bag.
Continuing coverage tonight of the downtown explosion. This is a live look at the Realty building. New today, we've learned demolition is expected to start this week. For the first time in 6 weeks, residents of the Realty building are getting their hands on some of their most treasured belongings. Today, first responders began the process of retrieving items from apartments that have been off limits to tenants. First News reporter John Rutter has been downtown all afternoon. John, how have things been going so far?
Lindsay, good evening. Well, the process of returning those items slow and meticulous. This was by no means a quick job nor an easy job. Trudging through the building carrying heavy bags of personal belongings, items that residents are thankful that they have returned to them tonight. One by one, bag after bag, painstakingly retrieved by first responders.
How do you put your life in a duffel bag?
Residents of the Realty building finally able to retrieve personal items that have been left behind. Their home still off limits in the wake of a gas explosion that uprooted them back on May 28th.
You have mixed emotions. You miss going home. You're glad you're alive.
Tenants have been told to catalog what they want retrieved from the building, allowed only what would fit in the standard carry-on suitcase, which looked more like a large duffel bag. A group of first responders going level by level, performing a sweep of each apartment.
In all of my adult life, this has been the most stressful time of my life, the last 30 plus days. You can't explain it, and you don't know what's going to happen next.
Many waited patiently as each trip reunited them with possessions some thought they might never be reconnected with.
There is a picture that a friend of mine did 40 years ago, and it tells me how far I've come from. And so I've carried it these 40 years, and I'm glad to have it back.
But still, not everything could be wedged into each bag.
We're glad for the mementos, we're glad for the things that we could get out.
After the uncertainty of the last several weeks, getting back some of their belongings they had gone without gave residents a small form of comfort. According to Live Youngstown Property Management, final details are still being arranged and they intend to begin demolition work this week. The focus today has been on the operation of retrieving some of the residents' belongings.
This is so sad.
A lot of things out there needed closure. And we may not get it all, but we thank God for the guys who thought about us and thought about our next chapter.
See, I'm glad that she has that attitude because it definitely helps her get through what she's getting through. But I have to say, you know, Americans on the whole have very low standards, you know, for what they accept. And unfortunately, they accept being destroyed. So, And, you know, people who haven't been destroyed repeatedly, having to go through something repeatedly, okay, it's much easier for them to accept one. But is this it for that woman? I hope so. I really hope so. She sure doesn't deserve what she got. And yes, you know, these explosions of buildings and buildings just igniting in fire, and oh, we have 100 displaced, or, you know, even the people who are in the building next to that building have been displaced because they're claiming that the building next door is unsafe. We don't know if any of this is true. That's the problem. We don't know what is true. Car insurance is a scam. I'll just post the link. You know, people are getting so unbelievably ripped off today. It is, you know, and a lot of these people talk about this is just greed. You know, it's just greed. And yeah, it's greed. Evictions surge in major cities in the American Sun Belt. Texas and Houston and Phoenix, I think, is #1. Where else? At elevated levels, even as they have fallen elsewhere. The link is in the chat if you want to read all about it. But I came across this video, Andrew's life, the truth about why more people are becoming homeless, and he's going on the data. He's going on, you know, the data from. I didn't listen long enough to know what his source is. It could be the Princeton lab that collects an awful lot of data on the homeless, but I'm just going to play a few minutes. He's talking about people are working and living in their cars. People are working today, and they're homeless.
Let's begin. Now, according to the United States Interagency Council of Homelessness, 40 to 60%.
Sorry, I said Princeton lab, but he might get to that. This is a 41-minute video, and he's just going through an awful lot of the statistics.
% of homeless people do work, and most of them work full-time jobs. So not every homeless person is a bum who has issues with illegal substances or have an issue with controlling their liquor. Now, according to the Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, and the information I'm getting ready to read was it was out of an article in the National Alliance to End Homelessness. So that's why I get the information I'm getting ready to read. That's where it comes from. You can look it up. You can look it up for yourself online if you desire. But it goes like this: homelessness increased 12% during 2022 and 2023. Now back during 2018 and 2019, homelessness only increased by 3%. So it's safe to say that the issue of homelessness in this country is getting worse. An average
All right, the link is in the chat. This is really, oh boy, I couldn't, this is bad. So look at daily job cuts. Trump picks J.D. Vance. These are headlines of mainstream media. Dish is reportedly at high risk of being unable to pay its bills. CNN dismantles race and equality. Clashes between locals and the Guardia, is that how you pronounce it, in Coolock, as the Irish destroy a site being constructed to dump unvetted migrant men in their community. I don't know if this is going to play. Probably not. I'll put the link in the chat. Some people, some Westerners, are still alive. Turning up in forests to block construction. There was a huge protest. So these are the scenes in Dover today, as hundreds of migrants have illegally crossed the channel in dinghies. I heard France was offloading an awful lot of their migrants into the UK. Over 300 have been picked up mid-channel. I don't know. I don't think it's going to play. Oh. Why can't I? Come on. Give me a break, CJ Copyright. So you're filming something and you gotta copyright it? Give me. That to me reeks of ego. French warship. They're unloading migrants from France into the UK. Irish police pepper spray residents of Coolock to house 500 illegals.
Payout exchange here. Pepper spray is being sprayed sprayed on women and children. Pepper spray is being sprayed on women and children. Pepper spray is being sprayed. Pepper spray is being sprayed on people. Pepper spray is being sprayed on people up here. Pepper spray is being sprayed on people. Pepper spray is being sprayed on civilians.
Fucking scumbags!
Yeah, what's that? You won't pepper spray me. Not gonna pepper spray me.
What the fuck? What's the violence for? I'm holding back of Big hard, man! Big hard, man! Big fucking hard, man! Don't
you fucking spray me! Don't you fucking spray me! Don't spray me! Don't spray me!
Fuck you! Super! Hard, man! Hard fucking man! You fucking stupid! You fucking stupid!
God, the Irish fighting the English for so long, and then now they're fighting one another. You know, you look at these people, look at this. I mean, they have such gear to make sure that they don't get hurt at all. They're like puffed up bullies. The bullies, the thugs of the New World Order, going after their own. It's upsetting to see this. For sure. J.D. Veep. All right. This Thomas Matthew Crooks, you know who that is. The 20-year-old who, well, Secret Service and police allowed to shoot off a couple of bullets. He was in a BlackRock commercial. Did you know that? He was in a BlackRock commercial. I wish I could get more timely now. I'm just not timely anymore. So, oh, well, especially now I'm on the West Coast with, on the West, 3 hours behind the East. I'm sure a lot of you know this, but this is the commercial.
My name is Brian DeLallo. I teach AP and Honors Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's him. So isn't it Bethel Park High School? This is the shooter of Trump. Really? Isn't that interesting? And BlackRock is talking about, oh, they invest the pensions for, oh, we should never have gone down that road for the teachers.
Economics in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Financial well-being to me is knowing that I can be free to do the things that I love to do. I hope when I retire someday, they say, you know, that guy made this place a special place to come to school.
That's him. Okay, I'm just going to play a few minutes of this. Trump rally shooting suspect lies, minutes of horror. And I will post the link. You can listen. Good commentary. It's, what are we living? What the hell are we living now? Just a few minutes.
Appeared in a BlackRock commercial. BlackRock is an organization that has their hands in everything, including what happened with the C-19 and pharmaceuticals. We know indeed this is Thomas Matthew Crooks because not only does this look like Thomas Matthew Crooks, but this commercial was filmed in Bethel Park, Pennsylvania High School. Thomas Matthew Crooks graduated from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania High School. Now, outside of Thomas Crooks, there were a couple other men who were caught up in this whole incident that occurred at Trump's rally. One of those men happened to be on TikTok, someone who goes by the name of Jew Glazer. The reason this person on Twitter that goes by Jew Glazer was caught up in this whole incident happens to be because he said he was Thomas Matthew Crooks. It also did not help that he looked like the shooter's twin.
My name is Thomas Matthew Crooks. I hate Republicans, I hate Trump, and guess what? You got the wrong guy.
So news and media ran with it, and they released many articles where they had shown Thomas Matthew Crooks' photo and Jew Glazer's photo side by side. So apparently Thomas Matthew Crooks and Jew Glazer are indeed two different people. But something about all this still does not sit right with me. As of right now, Jew Glazer either deleted his Twitter or set it to private. You can no longer see his photos or his videos. Now, another man I do want to talk about who has also been caught up in this whole incident is a man that goes by the name of Maxwell Yerrick. Here's what's rather...
All right, link is in the chat. You can listen. It's, yeah. I'm just... I'm getting... My cup runneth over on all of these events. My cup runneth over. Secret Service. What? Yeah. They essentially allowed that guy to crawl along that ceiling. The whole thing is
and watch and listen to the rally, right? We couldn't see him, but we could hear him. So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, but we noticed the guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police are like, huh, what? Like they didn't know what was going on. We're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. He's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out. So
this is also to bring down, it's the delegitimization of every institution. You can't count on anything. Even Secret Service. They're just, and Crooks. It's interesting that that's his last name, Crooks. Candace Owens calls bull on Trump detail. Obvious.
What Candace Owens has to say about it.
Have got to be kidding me. Let me say something right now. Take this to the bank. Okay? That person was allowed to scale that roof. Okay? I am not some individual who's trying to assess situation and have never been around the president of the United States. While Trump was in office, okay, I was around him a lot. And let me tell you something. The Secret Service, there is no person that can get around the perimeter of the Secret Service where Donald Trump is without them being aware of it. I am not kidding when I say that my husband once almost got shot by the Secret Service because he came down a staircase. I was speaking at the NRA, and he snaked in and came down. And they didn't know who he was. And they were like, freeze. Like, we will shoot you right now. So you're telling me that guy walked up and was trying to get the attention. The Secret Service saw him, and he's pointing and he's saying, this guy's got a gun. And they're pretending they don't know what's going on. I mean, am I crazy? Do you guys actually believe this was a failure in intelligence? All of these Secret Service agents crawling around, and you don't think just what that guy said, that is common sense, okay? They're trying to now tell us that common sense is a conspiracy. That is the new thing that they're trying to tell the public. Common sense is a conspiracy. You're telling me this guy was able to walk up with a rifle in his hand and scale a roof, and you don't think the Secret Service, and let me tell you, they get there days before. Let me tell you how a security apparatus is supposed to run. Days before, they get in and they look at every possible angle in which somebody could hurt the president. Okay? And I'm not even talking about once you get to the Secret Service. I'm talking about if you just have security in general. Before you speak, they will go, hey, this is the stage? Okay, let me tell you. That right there is a problem. They'll mark that as a spot. That right there is a problem. We need to know who this person is. They'll knock on doors. Okay? They got to figure out every possible angle that any individual could potentially get on a roof, because you know what? This has happened in the past. People have been shot from roofs. People have been shot from windows. There is a 0% chance that some random person with a rifle was able to scale a roof, unless there was just an unbelievable failure in intelligence. And you want to know why it's unbelievable? Because I don't effing believe it.
It's nice to hear people express how they feel with this. I was going to say clown world because I have seen comments and I'm like, it's not a clown world. It's something so dark and evil that there are no words. I've got to think of some descriptive words to come up with, because nothing fits. Nothing is fitting what we live anymore. The 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, who tried to kill Donald Trump, was spotted on a roof nearly 30 minutes before the shooting. Wow. One officer at the rally took a photo of Crooks at 5:45 p.m. and called it in as a suspicious person. Maybe because he was carrying a rifle and crawling on the roof? Alright, so I want to thank my subscriber for sending this along. I'm just going to read some of it. This is Dr. Rima. Trump assassination attempt? I call bullshit. The Uniparty is having a party. It's a theater party. Y'all come and cast your vote for the most compelling actor and admire the supporting cast. Door prizes include United Nations Destruction of Humanity. Above you see a picture of the purported bullet wound to former President Trump's right ear following the purported assassination attempt by a purported lone gunman allegedly in the sights of the Secret Service. Trump, however, is a man of such amazing talent that he is capable of defying the ordinarily unavoidable pull of gravity. Red circle indicates where the flood of blood from Trump's alleged wound is defying gravity. Having streaked across his face when he was in a crouched behind the podium, we see that his face, shirt, and suit are free of blood. And here I am speaking as a physician. Generally, bullet wounds bleed. It's part of what they do. And the more heavily vascularized a region is, the more heavily they bleed. Not only that, the blood is well known throughout observational studies spanning the whole of mammalian history to follow the dictates of gravity. Perhaps the abundant blood spurted from the wound when he was behind the podium under the pile of Secret Service makeup artists, agents, who were protecting him from the sniper they forgot to shoot Oh boy, Carol, what are you reading? I can't. You're reading words that are not there. Oh, okay. Sniper they forgot to shoot before he shot the presidential candidate under their protection. Here is the hand of the allegedly shot man as he rises from his post-shot crouch. Where's the blood? That was the hand that he hit his ear with. Unless there was a basin of water at the ready behind the podium and cloths to clean his hand, although no dressing was applied to the strange wound. Again, the candidate for President of the United States under Secret Service protection has a blood-free hand, which has clutched an abundantly bleeding wound, which bleeds without visible blood. Doesn't look real to me. Bullshit. The link is in the chat. But a lot of people are, why do I say a lot? Okay. I have seen other people say that it's the hero. Trump is the hero. Oh. So the important question is why? In my view, the answer is pretty clear. Make a hero out of this uniparty candidate through a theater party, and then, barring the introduction of reality into the political scene, we have a done deal, all neatly scripted, no matter which sock puppet stands against the hero. But have you heard the hero decry that new product? The death shots? Not once. And quite contrarily, in fact, he said, my 3 beautiful shots. Hey, that's your hero. Who, when he gets into, so what, Candace is a millionaire? So what? Boy, people focus on such strange things. My 3 beautiful shots is what he said. Have you heard the hero decry the United Nations promising to get us out at the moment he takes office, or any other time for that matter? Nope. Have you heard the hero declare his unequivocal support for informed consent, the law of the land, and a totally non-negotiable reality for any national which has ratified the Geneva Convention? Nope. Have you heard the hero promise on a stack of Bibles to investigate and prosecute the COVID criminals, whomever they might be? Nope, not a whisper. But lock her up, right? Lock her up, lock her up. Oh, we love hearing that. We loved it. We loved it. Oh, and now he's in office. And just a couple of days later, first interview. Hillary is she's a good woman. She's been through a lot. Let's leave her alone. People don't get how they speak to their base, the words the base wants to hear, even in a very immature, low, undignified manner, like Trump. They don't get it. A whole lot of Americans just want to hear the pretty words. They don't care that those words are meaningless. Whoa, scary. So, what Dr. Rima says, none of that is acceptable, not if you care about truth in your future. So here's what we need to do, in my humble opinion, but very adamant opinion. We must prevail upon Congress to get us out of the United Nations, since no president is going to do that bidden. That's why we have to create the 10 Million Patriot Challenge. And there are links. And I'll put the link in again to this article. And I'm kind of surprised. I'm kind of surprised, but look, my knowing a whole lot of the awake people, they don't do anything. They're just prepping to make sure that they're surviving themselves. We're too selfish and self-centered. And I hate to say it because I'd love something to take place in this country, but I don't see it happening. Yeah, you get beat down and you see The Walking Dead. Now, I'm going to play this. And I feel pretty much the same. I'm done with current affairs. Carl Vernon.
Absolutely knackered. We'll get over it. It's a kind of tiredness that is frustration-led as much as anything else. It's a kind of tiredness that sits on you, not just physically, but of course mentally, but I think there's a spiritual side as well, isn't there? But we shall prevail. Yes? I don't know about you as well, but I'm pretty much almost certainly done with what we might call current affairs. Oh dear. Oh, let's pick on the news again. Let's pick on what's in the news and the media. Let's pick on that because it deserves it, doesn't it? Yeah, I'm pretty much done with that. And where I thought previously that I was done, no, there apparently is more levels to it. And I keep going into more levels of being done with it, if you know what I mean. These significant things that continue to come out in the press that appear to be quite non-stop. Very significant things that come out. It's quite hard to take a lot of things seriously now. You feeling that? Yeah? I can hear the traffic. I can see the cars. You take that seriously, but the news. And it seems relentless, doesn't it? It seems tiring. And there appears to be different levels of not taking things seriously. And in regards to a tiredness, certainly recently, I found this quite interesting actually, because again, this is all about perspective and perception. Because I've been getting up, typically sort of almost about, it's like 2:30, going up to 3 o'clock in the morning. And it's been happening more and more frequently. And I might get a little bit more sleep a little bit after that. But I've got quite intrigued about it. Looked into it a little bit more, you know, because I do believe in things like, you know, energy and frequency and all that sort of stuff. And there was two sides to this, which I found quite interesting. One is that apparently it's the witching hour. Right? When you wake up, it's the witching hour at that time. The other perception and the other offering of what it could be is it's like messages being sent down. Messages sent down, or wherever you feel that you get messaging from. Messages coming to you as well. Which I found interesting as well, because, you know, I'm finding that even waking up at that time, I can get up and be very, very productive and get things done. and actually do some pretty good work. Now, it's not helping in regards to getting your 8 a day, 5 veg and fruit and 8 hours of sleep. Yeah, it's not working in regards to that. Although I'm getting a little bit more sleep a little bit later on. You have to go to bed early, wouldn't you? Yeah, quite interesting really. But in regards to current affairs, yeah, there appears to be more levels of being done with that sort of stuff, and it's quite an interesting journey, isn't it? You have a great day.
Quite an interesting journey. So, I have to say, the frustration level, current affairs, the bullshit that we're living is exhausting. It's exhausting. Some of these people in the chat are just exhausting. You know, I'm so sick of looking at, you know, the ego boys in the chat. Dude, you need to pray for repentance. Yeah, you got balls, you got this, you got your troll. But yeah, I'm so sick of it. I'm just so sick of it. Dude, smell my feet. What the, you know, holy shit. That's what we got. It's what we got. It's scary. So sick of it. So sick of it that I'm just going to. Yeah, God. The immaturity of some is really just well, it's one of the reasons why we live a nightmare. Hey, Mama Rages. You know, there's so much that I feel like I need to say just to get it out. And I don't anymore. I don't anymore because I don't want to be kicked around anymore. I'm tired of that as well. So, I do hope that so exhausting. Now this isn't even working. I can't even get rid of this fucking comment. Yeah. Nice if a whole lot of people could grow up. This does not look good at all. Look at these extremely low frequencies blasting away at this. All right, well, wow. I would say you have some pretty severe, awful weather. Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa. Look at these frequencies hitting the storm. And you can see the Doppler radar pulsing right along these storms down here in the south. Yep. Okay, well, right now, I'd say there's a lot of people who are scared, a lot of people suffering, something happening, trees going down, trees falling on cars, hail breaking through windows, tornadic activity, tornado alerts in Illinois, Kane, Illinois, Boone, Kane, McHenry, in Bureau and Putnam, Illinois, DeKalb, and Oakley, Illinois. All in Illinois. Look at this. And look at these frequencies hitting it. Right there. This is unbelievable what we're living. All right, so Carol's twatter, Mama rages. Thanks. I know it was a mistake. Rufus, I'm having a hard time. I am. I'm there. I could give a shit about Charlie Kirk and the RNC and the convention and all of it. If Americans can't see that they're being played left and right, 24/7, 365 days a year at this point, well, they're absolutely part of the destruction. I mean, people like Charlie Kirk, is he awake? Yeah, silence your egos in the chat. Considering everything that we're living, and then you look at the chat, and you look at these people who are, I just can't stand it. Yeah. Rufus, you're in large part, it is ego. Why we're living what we're living. Dude, you want to know why you keep saying you're blocked? Because I've just ignored all of your comments. You know, what's the point? Ugh. You guys, be be safe. Be safe and, try to be a power of example, be trustworthy, mature, help your community, help those who need help. And live honestly and speak honestly. On that note, I just say, I really do hope that if you've never suffered the consequences of all of these things going on, I hope you never have to. Those of you who have once, I hope you don't have to suffer it again and again. But we have an awful lot going on, so pay attention. Definitely, increase your awareness. It should be hardwired, right? Your surroundings. Not just out and about, but in your driveway and in your home. Yeah. Make sure you know who you're opening the door for, and it's coming right at you. Yeah. Well, maybe this is extremely low frequency will course correct. Mama rages. But, the horror that I have felt when seeing radar over the years is knowing subscribers are in these areas. Yeah, it's, oh dude, I don't, go. The boys will be boys. And then, I have them on my mind and I'm wondering, okay, who's next? Who is next? The hell? Could you not leave these comments, Dean and Dude, and could you please? Jesus. Thank you, Amelia. No, I don't have Bandit, Patrick. Can't even go there. I'm not going anywhere anymore. So, be good to people, be kind, You speak a word, keep it. Keep it. Don't screw people over. And on that note, I say good night, good luck. Ciao, guys. Hope to see you tomorrow.